What's going on, guys? Sharpshot here. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. So today's video, I kind of just wanted to sit down with you guys and just talk about why I still enjoy playing DBD. I've been seeing so much negativity around DBD for the past few months, especially since the launch of the most recent Skull Merchant chapter. Big content creators are posting rants about DBD on YouTube. DBD Twitter and DBD Reddit are being toxic and negative towards the game and the community. Any social media platform you go on, TikTok, Reddit, Instagram, you name it, there's gonna be negativity about DBD on there. I'm the first person to criticize behavior when something isn't right about their game. I can agree that the Skull Merchant chapter and the Night chapter were not the best DBD chapters ever. The Gen Kick meta sucks, and getting tunneled and camped in trials isn't fun at all. Am I getting face cam right now? What the fuck is this guy doing? Hell, I was one of the big advocates for the DBD boycott last summer when all the big content creators, a lot of people in the community thought it was silly. But I feel like the DBD community has gone over the edge and reached a point where if someone goes into the community and says something positive about the game and says, hey, I'm enjoying the game, I'm still having fun playing DBD, they'll get flamed on the spot for saying something positive about the game because the popular opinion right now is just to hate on DBD, which is definitely not okay. And I feel like the community has gone a little bit overboard to the point that even players with no strong opinion on the game and are very casual players, they've also grown to hate DBD because the vocal majority in the community has convinced them to hate the game. Negativity is certainly not something new with DBD. It's been around since the game has launched, and it's something that's a part of any video game these days. There's always going to be entitled players and complainers. Just to name a few of the common negative themes that have been around forever. To start, the whole feud between survivor mains versus killer mains has been around since the dawn of existence. This internal war that one side is right and the other side is wrong has been around forever, and it unfortunately won't go anywhere, even though there isn't one side that's right or wrong. Camping and tunneling, as prevalent as it may seem in the game right now, has been a part of DBD for a really long time, and it actually used to be even worse back before borrowed time base kit was a thing, because it just left unhooked survivors completely defenseless. So DBD definitely has tried to address these playstyles. I'm sure they'll continue to do so in the future. BT base kit has made tunneling a lot more unpopular, and if the killer does decide to go with it, there's just a lot more penalty to it. And I think the next thing they need to address is camping, and if it were up to me, I would introduce something where if you're within a certain range of a hooked survivor, you don't get any of your power whatsoever, so Bubba wouldn't be able to just chainsaw anybody that comes and tries to unhook. But there's a ton of other things that they could do, and that's probably not even the best option, so comment down below what you would do to fix camping. Speaking of camping and tunneling, toxicity in-game through BMing is also nothing new. Survivors that teabag at the exit gates or after they pallet stun you because they think they're way better than you. And on the flip side, killers nodding after downing you or trying to hump you or whatever. This toxicity has been a part of DBD for a while now, and it's been a part of every video game ever. If you're able to crouch in the game, you're gonna find people teabagging, so that's just the reality of it. And unfortunately, with the nature of asymmetrical games where it's just a player versus a player, one trying to kill the other, it creates a lot more intense gameplay, so the toxicity will be a lot more prevalent there, and there's a lot more time to do it in DBD than, for example, in a fast-paced first-person shooter where you really don't have any time to stop and just DM. These three issues definitely contribute to the negativity in the DBD community, but I feel like these haven't added to the extra negativity we've been seeing recently as the past few months. This is kind of just the baseline of the negativity, where unfortunately, wherever the game is headed, there's always going to be this baseline negativity because these three issues just will always be a part of the game, and it's a part of gaming in general, unfortunately, so these won't go away anytime soon. So although these are major issues in the DBD community, I think the real increase in negativity really started when the Night chapter released. Going all the way back 6 months ago when the Night dropped, it introduced a killer who's really strong at zoning, holding 3 gens, and contributing to the very new Gen Kick meta, which is just not fun for both sides. The Gen Kick playstyle extends the duration of the trial for a super long time and just creates a really boring and stale environment for the killer and the survivors. The killers and the survivors don't really interact with each other, and they don't really chase, which in my opinion, chasing is the best part of DBD, so not having that much of it makes the game feel really boring. All the Night does is just kick gens over and over, which is boring for them, and then they just send guards, which zones the survivors away, which is really boring for them because they don't do anything either. And not to mention, the gen kick meta was made even worse with eruption being insanely strong and making it so that the trials get even longer because of the increased gen regression. So survivors, if they wanted a chance to win, also had to counter this by creating their own gen rush meta and constantly just sitting on gens the entire trial, which is not a fun way of going about the trial. And fast forward to last month when the Tools of Torment chapter was released, Skull Merchant was an utter disappointment, being another killer that's really good at holding 3 gens and zoning, and also being very strong in the gen kick meta. And not to mention, the chapter just seems really rushed overall, with the killer power not being too great, the killer perks not being great at all, and even the Mori being just an off-brand Freddy Mori. It just wasn't great at all. To make matters even worse, the DDoSing issue came back very recently for prominent big streamers that are on Steam, where they were getting their internet cut out while streaming DBD, and anybody in their lobby could have the chance of getting their IP address leaked, which is a very serious safety and security issue, which just should not be in the game whatsoever. All of these issues have led to the community just being really frustrated at not only behavior and Dead by Daylight in general, but also being frustrated at the members of the community themselves. Survivors are even more mad at killers than they usually are for being a part of the gen kick meta, and on the flip side, with killers being even more mad at survivors than usual for playing into the gen rush meta. Overall, the community is just very tense right now, and there's just a lot of negativity circling around everywhere. Despite these problems, I think the hate that DBD is getting is just way too overblown. The reason I'm singling out DDoSing is because the hate is not overblown on this. I think the hate is definitely justified for this because, like I said, this is a very major safety issue for anybody that gets their IP address leaked. And although Behavior has been very vocal about this issue and have been communicating through Twitter to the community about what's going on with this issue, and also reaching out to the content creators that did get affected and did get DDoS to hear what they had to say about it to try and get the issue fixed, they just released a statement saying they haven't found any issues on their end as of yet, which is really sus because there clearly is an issue with DDoSing in DBD. But the vague wording in that statement might mean that if there is an issue, it's on Steam's end of things and there's nothing that Behavior can do about it. But they didn't go out and transparently say this, so they definitely need to clarify and keep updating the community on this issue because it's nowhere near resolved. And if you are feeling unsafe about getting your IP address leaked while playing on Steam, make sure to run a VPN. And if you're still feeling unsafe, you can switch over to Epic Games because apparently there aren't as many issues over there. This is a very serious safety concern. I think the hate and the criticism that DBD is getting is very justified here, but when it comes to the in-game issues, I think the hate is overblown. Behavior has attempted to address the gen kick meta by nerfing eruption, which has worked to some extent. In my experience since the nerf, I've played nowhere near as many killers using the gen kick playstyle, which is a really good sign. And in regards to the Knight, they've also buffed him in a way to promote him to chase more rather than to 3-gen and just patrol with the guards by giving the Knight haste if he uses his guards at a long range. Behavior has also been extremely quick to address the issues with the Skull Merchant. She was a disaster in the PTB, but at live launch, they tried to address some issues, and when they noticed that that wasn't enough, last week they even introduced another fix to Skull Merchant that will promote the killers to chase more because she's better at chasing now and do less 3-genning because she's not good at 3-genning anymore. Behavior has also announced 2 amazing quality of life features in the automatic purchase blood web feature to speed up the P100 blood point grind, and also the accessibility feature in the visual tear radius. These are features that the DBD community have been wanting for so long now, and it's really awesome to see that Behavior finally listened to the community and added them in. The last 2 chapters in the Knight and Skull Merchant may not have been the best, but looking on the bright side to next chapter, which will be the anniversary chapter, a licensed DLC is on the horizon. And just to remind you guys that for the last 2 years, we got Nemesis in 2021 and Wesker in 2022, which were 2 pretty good chapters in my opinion. And when it comes to licenses and DBD, there are endless possibilities. So I'm super excited and optimistic to see what DBD has in store for next chapter. So all the negativity and the stale gameplay we've endured over the past few months is being addressed and will be improved upon in the future. I can personally say that I face way less killers that use the gen kick playstyle than I did before. And yeah, there will be some campers and tunnelers here and there, but you can't get too worked up and too bogged down about those games because the majority of the games you do play won't be like those. Nobody's forcing you to play DVD, so you can always just take a little break, come back, feel refreshed, and you probably won't be getting tunneled and camped anymore. Just want to quickly pop in and add my thoughts on the new March dev update. It's a pretty controversial one with healing getting nerfed like crazy, pain res, dead hard, circle of healing all getting nerfs. I definitely definitely think after this, we're going to be gone from the gen kick meta for good. And we're not going to be entering into an anti-heal meta where killers are going to be running heal slowdown perks to make healing for survivors even longer to keep them away from gens. So although this does sound pretty painful, and we're probably going to be in trials for as long as we were in the gen kick meta, because instead of killers stalling the trial by kicking gens, they're going to stall it by injuring survivors and making them heal really slowly. On a positive note, I definitely think this is going to be a better meta for both sides. Yes, the games will take a long time, like I said, but at least we're going to be getting more interaction between the killer and the survivors, because in the gen kick meta, there wasn't really much of that, with killers just kicking gens and zoning survivors away from them. But in this new meta, if killers want to actually do damage, they're going to have to actually go up to the survivors and hit them and injure them, which is going to prompt some chases and actual real interaction between the two sides. So yes, healing will definitely suck as survivor, but it'll be a better meta because we're going to be doing a lot more of chasing, which is the best part of DBD for both sides. So to answer the big question of the video, despite the negativity, I still do enjoy playing Dead by Daylight for numerous reasons. Just to list a few reasons, I love the variety and the uniqueness of the gameplay that DBD offers. From the different maps, the killers, the survivors, the perks, the play styles, there's so many different ways to play DBD. No two trials feel the same. And the player versus player strategy between the killer and the survivor in a chase is a battle that's really unique and somewhere I haven't been able to see any other game offer. The insane amount of IQ and mechanics that can go behind these 1v1 chases on both sides for the killer and the survivor is something I really enjoy about DBD. As some of you might know, if you guys watch my Twitch streams, I do play a lot more survivor than I do killer, and it's not to say that I don't enjoy playing the killer side, it's just that I like playing survivor that much more than killer, because in my personal opinion, I enjoy all the things that the survivor side offers and the variety of things you can do in a trial, and all the interactions and strategies that you get to pull together with your teammates to try and escape the trial against the killer, whether that's just helping the survivors out by taking hits, unhooking them, healing them, flashlight saving them, pallet stunning them. There's so much to do on the survivor side that just keeps me playing and just keeps me engaged in the trial and just enjoying myself in game. I'm a really competitive person at nature, so whenever I do head into a trial, I always try my best and I try and win to ultimately escape the trial or get a 4K. But in the heat of the moment, it's pretty easy to forget that in a really casual game like DBD with no ranked mode, it's really important to just have fun. That's what video games are here for, and I feel like through the constant hate train that DBD has been going through recently, people often forget to just have fun and not take the game too seriously. Even if I get camped or tunneled or die in a 3-gen, whatever it may be, I always try to just enjoy myself when I play DBD as my #1 goal, messing around with different builds, with different play styles, and just not taking the game too seriously. And honestly, if you're feeling down on DBD, I encourage you to do the same. Try out new things, whether it's playing a different side, playing a different killer, different perks, different play styles, whatever it may be. And even if you're not winning because you're just not necessarily following the meta and you get a 0K or you're dying in a trial, at least you'll be able to say that you enjoyed the way that you did play the trial, and it'll make the wins that you do eventually get that much more satisfying and that much more fun. Just to wrap the video up with a positive closing thought, while I was scrolling through the DBD Reddit, I found a super wholesome post of a brand new player and their journey through DBD and how they've been having a blast so far playing the game. It's a pretty long post, but it's a really worthwhile read, so if you do want to check that post out, I'll link it in the description. Although it is important to keep behavior in check to always be producing the best content possible for DBD, don't spread hate in the community, foster the positivity instead, because there is still so much positivity, not only in game, but in the community in general. So yeah guys, that's been the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. This has been Sharpshot, and I will see you guys in the next video.